this reading or channeling will be quite different than I thought. And I'm sorry about my voice. I'm having a bit of a cold. Because when I sat down just to listen in before it started, Kali Ma came through really strongly. And I have a sense that she wants to be channeled through me. And I haven't done that in like these videos. So I'm a bit nervous about that. But yeah, there's a strong energy of Kali Ma coming through, wanting to assist in her quiet, non-negotiating way. And we are on the Solstice today. Happy Solstice. And also the new moon in Saggitarius, which started yesterday, if you're, living in the Northern Hemisphere, or depending on where you're living, it might be today for you. And both this Sagittarius new moon, I just want to kind of weave that into what she will say later, and this solstice, winter solstice, is all about like really getting to that 0 point before taking action forward, cutting any losses. And what I heard from Kali, just her energy before starting recording was that like cut your losses, like she was there with her swords, like really so ready to just assist. And I can feel even now it's this like impatient energy, wanting to come through, like no time for bullshit kind of thing. So I'll just let her come through. Yeah, so her energy is with me and I can hear and feel her working, and I'm gonna channel her through like that. I was a bit curious if she wanted to come through like she speaks through me, but usually it's more like I just use my vessel to listen, and then I still speak and I'm still in control, and I prefer that, to be honest. But yeah, I can very much feel her, and it's like this fire in my heart. Why is that being shown to me? Yeah, it's again, I mean, she's quite repetitive for me right now, but it's like she's really like, cut your losses, cut your losses, cut your losses. And where in your life are you not being honest enough with yourself? Where in your life are you not willing to see the truth because you're scared? There's somewhere in your life where you're still holding on to some sort of past, some sort of old lifeline that doesn't serve you at all. It's actually dragging you down. And it's a part of what you thought you would want, or it's a part of something that you once dreamed of, but it's not who you are anymore. And she's really insistent that you take a deep look into that, like into those kind of corners you've been avoiding until now. Yeah, you've been You've been doing great. You've been shedding a lot this year. And then another thing you've been doing great is actually avoiding one part of this evolution that you're in. One area of your life where you, for some reason, kind of been too scared or not yet motivated enough to actually be willing to change. But now, my dear, is the time to change. And yeah, the fire in my heart, the fire I could feel in my heart is like she's showing me this like big growing bonfire, this energy of the fire in the heart, but also symbolically she's showing me how there's this old kind of almost like nostalgic traces left that are not the part of who you become and who you're becoming, and they're actually just keeping you in this like back and forward state, which to some degree we are all in right now, but we're gonna move out of that soon. So to fully align with this Sagittarius, pulling back the arrow, pulling it back means pulling back into everything that you thought you wanted, like pulling back into what you thought you would aim at, and then realize what you actually want to aim for right now. Like getting that movement backward now in the last part of this year, in the last part of 2025, before we're moving into the year of the fire horse, is that realignment so that your actions and your emotions and your energetic body, your higher self, so all of you are aligned in that arrow, in that movement forward. And that shedding, that cutting your losses, which I'm seeing Kali Ma with her swords being very ready to cut, is you're in that part where it's the most painful. The reason you haven't cut this once before, it might be emotional cords to people. Yeah, for some it is. It might be relationships. I'm hearing for some it is that too. Some family relationships or friend relationships that either needs to be cut out or where your truth needs to be spoken, and you use your sword in that way. There's also just for many this energetic baggage that needs to be cut, and this clearing between, almost like I see this vision board or these intentions that were true for you a while ago, and then they're still with you. You haven't updated them fully. But the thing is, through this year of the snake, through this shedding, through everything you've gone through now, you evolved, you changed, and some of those intentions, some of those wishes are not the same anymore, or maybe they have a new flavor and they need to be upgraded to that. And sometimes we need to say goodbye to dreams. Sometimes we realize that, not because you can't have it, but sometimes you realize there might be an even bigger dream that you now might be almost scared of. But also, if you check in with yourself, you know that you want it. And dreams are meant to feel scary and hairy. Dreams are meant to push us. And if they don't do that, then they're almost not your dream. Then there's like a tiny goal, like if it's something you can easily check off, it's not really a dream anymore. So really take time right now in this window before the New Year's in itself isn't really, you know, it's a date, but in this energetical 0 point we're in right now, which is really this realignment between the numerologically year number 9 moving into a year number 1, 2026. And year 1 is a bit, it's, we forget that year 1 is sometimes more of a 0 than of a 1, because we really need to recalibrate before we can move forward. So yeah, that's, I'm not gonna go further into predictions for this year, but cut your losses. Okay, do you want me to use the cards, or do you want me to? So when I started like getting Kali Ma through, there was another goddess energy wanting to come through, and I was hearing Chinese in my head, and I will not repeat it because I can't speak Chinese, but I was hearing it. I know her name, but I'm not, she has a really wonderful energy, but it's not a deity, a goddess energy I'm used to working with, so I sometimes forget her name. Okay, it will come to me. But right when Kali wanted to come through, she was coming through at the same time, so it was a bit of this merge of this like really fiery feminine, but feminine in a quite brutal nature, you know, nature showing off kind of energy, Kali, like volcanoes, storms, and then Kaolin, oh, yeah, sorry, Shaolin, no, not Shaolin, oh, this is embarrassing, it will come to me, I do somewhere in my head know her name, was also coming through with her much more like the other aspect of the feminine. Both are equally good, but that it's well, I sense she can still be sharp, you know, like she still has her in a way, she also has a sharpness, but it's more of this feminine, flowing, motherly, caring or nurturing energy there. I see her like often depicted with the cherry blossoms, you know, and with blossoms and the flower energy. And then you have Kali, who's often depicted cutting men's heads off. And what she really does, though, is liberating. She's, you know, she's helping us cut our egos, cut off the parts of us that we know that no longer serves us. So there's both death and rebirth and liberation, and you know, like that's love too, but it's tough love, and that tough love is coming through right now. And I thought maybe she wanted to come through like really channeled through me, but she didn't, and I'll just, you know, respect that. Maybe I'm too scared, who knows. But yeah, the energy is there, and it's really direct, and it's really like no more bullshit. Like, go do your thing, go do that thing that you know that you haven't been wanting to do, answer that message, answer that person that you've been putting off, you know, send that message, clean that room. Like, there's something you've been putting off for way too long, and there might have been good excuses, but it's actually hindering your energy to flow. So go do that. That's like, she's like really wanting to say that. And she wanted me to draw a few cards. I'm just letting this be her reading to you guys. Yeah. So 6 of water, that's that like also cutting the cords to the emotional to the nostalgic wounds that are keeping you stuck in an old timeline, that are keeping you anchored where you're supposed to flow. And you will never lose the good memories. You won't lose the people you love. But it's about letting go of those old victim mentality, those old stories that keep you in a loop. It didn't happen to you, it happened for you, no matter how bad it was in a way. And also, you're not what happened, you're you. So those kind of stories that we sometimes can keep on to because they actually makes us feel in some level good, or they makes us feel like maybe it can even be a story where in one way you feel like the hero of the story, but still it's keeping you in a loop, in an old pattern. So really taking a look on that like solar plexus ego driven past stories. Kali is asking you to see things with new eyes. Maybe someone really hurt you, and that doesn't mean, it will never mean that what they did was okay. But it can mean, of course you can still move on, but you can still move on. And sometimes we can even find ways to have a new relationship with those people. I'm not speaking about adultery, or the words. I'm not speaking about if someone did horrible things to you now. I'm speaking more about those family dynamics where where we have our wounded child with us, and things can get really tricky and sticky, and there's so much more tempting to just never speak to, for example, a parent. Again, once you empowered yourself, once you see for my throat got old when I was going to speak about that. Once you see if it's a narcissistic behavior, oh my god, once you see that clearly and you take your power back, sometimes it's more tempting to just stay there and to not work on healing the relationship. And you know what's best for you. Sometimes that's what you need. Other times, as you heal, actually your lineage heals too, meaning your parents heals too. And in that healing, even if you don't speak to them, what you might not know is that they actually have healed as well. And even though they won't be perfect, even though they probably will always have their stuff, there can be a way to find a reunion and a way of holding love while still seeing them for who they are, and this is not, again, an encouragement to always check in with yourself, what's best for you. Sometimes we really need to cut cords to the people closest to us, to family members, and that's what's the right thing to do. Other times, there is this natural evolution of healing going on, and we might, even though we thought we would never speak again, that happened to me, and years later, suddenly things have really healed, and we find ourselves in a whole other place than we were, before. So a lot about that, but yeah, that's really Kali coming in to asking you to use your discernment where you're holding yourself back, either from speaking to someone and actually going into a forgiveness process, or where you need to be sharper and really cut someone out of your life. And also to really honor your energy. It's this like, where are you cutting both the emotional ties to your past, to your childhood, teenage years, and also cutting your energetical cords to your community, where you're living now, where you've been living. Just intentionally do that. And to the people, you know, if you're in a workplace with several people around you, make sure that you cut your energy to them, even if you're not aware that you're picking up on them. You're an empath, and even when you're not aware, you are like the healer in the room. So to really cleanse out all of these cords, and that's a process we have to do over and over again, but really do that now to make sure that you can stay anchored here. You see how she's almost like she's having this butterfly mask, and this beautiful flower is growing out of her hand. So you really can be in your part now, playing your part as the beautiful, gorgeous creator that you are. So you can like really use the energy on your seed, on what you're creating right now, and really just being in your own space. This 0 point we're in right now also might have put you in this fork in the road energy, where you've been not sure, or feeling like you're being like there's 2 possible outcomes or more, and you're not sure which way to go with it. And again, this reading is actually saying that that answer will come when you really pull your energy back, like all of it back into you. There's this tower moment happening, and this is also the 16th already, was a few days back, and that was like a tower moment day actually for many people. So you might already be in this energy. The way this is coming through to me now is like this is all happening now, or now-ish, like the few days we've been through, and this day's coming towards Christmas Eve. This is the tower, like reshaping your fundament, your oh my god, your pillars of the earth. It's reshaping your stability, and it's also energetically, that's what Kali really want to assist with here, opening up these sources of energy, like really freeing up that energy in your energy fields and your energy vessel, your body, so that your higher self, like your soul, can really be integrated in you, so that your light, his light, your soul's light can be allowed to fully come out. Yeah. Is there one last message? Okay, she's saying tell them about the ritual you did yesterday. So I'll do that. So yesterday was the new moon, and I usually do this intention writing rituals. Since it's also the solstice today, and New Year's is coming up, I did it a bit differently. So I did like a 12-day intention setting, meaning I used my notebook, and then I wrote down 12 intentions / wishes for the time to come. And I always write it so it's already happening, like it's happening now. And I made sure I wrote it on my book so it has space to cut it out, so I could cut out the 12 different wishes. Then I had a jar, like I packed it down because I'm traveling, but I had a glass jar where I put them, the 12 wishes. I folded them up so you can't see what's on them. Then I put them in the jar, and like stirred still in the ritual, kind of the feeling of being really in that, lighting a candle and being with what I'm doing. And then now for the 12 days or the 11 days until New Year's Eve, I'm gonna take up one one of those wishes and burn it. So if you have a fireplace, or or you can go out and burn it, I'd recommend one of those, like a safe way to do it. So I'm gonna burn one each day without seeing which one I burn, just again with the intention of transforming that. And then on New Year's Eve, I'm gonna open the last one and see what's on that one. And then I will burn it too. So that's my kind of merge of new moon solstice ritual for this time. And I also really believe in connecting it to our values. So after cutting them out, like, I won't show you, well, this one doesn't say really anything, but after cutting them out and writing it on it, I read it again, and then I went like, okay, so the value of this wish is love and connection. And then on the back of it, I wrote love and connection. And then another one was like knowledge, learning. Another one for me was like playful creation, when I summed it up in a value. Because, yeah, that really cuts through. You know, sometimes we want something, but then it might be something even better that holds that value for us. That's why I use both. And before I did that, I kind of did what Kali is asking you guys to do now, but I'm feeling that I need to do this even stronger too. I know what I need to face. It's something hard for me, and I'm in the midst of it, and I'm doing it. But she's like on me. She's on my back. So yeah, so I also listened into where my goals and my vision board has changed. Yeah, I like this like light behind here. I don't like my tired face. It's okay. I'm working on letting go of any sort of vanity. Yeah. Kalima is saying you need to let your ego go. Your ego go. Like, you need to let your old ego go so your new you can rise. Can rise, and I'm seeing it as almost as a flower, can blossom. Yeah, and there's this sense, it's connected to solar plexus and like all our chakras, but really this sense that that's where that block's been, that fear of letting go. Like, I'm seeing someone holding on to their old life like it's a life rat. Change is scary sometimes. Okay, that's it. Yep, thank you.